I think my introduction into tech was a calculator watch. I was so fascinated that you could actually have a calculator on your wrist. I remember like relentlessly asking my dad for one for my birthday, to the point where I knew it was kind of out of our price range of things that my dad could afford. And I think he just wanted me to shut up, and he got me one. One of my best friends growing up, Greg, he and I were like super nerds together. So we would always watch stuff coming out. Even if we couldn't buy it, we would just be like, oh, did you see that new Walkman? That new Discman's so small, you know what I mean? For me, when I went to Japan the first time, that's when I had the wow moment. Like, everything here is ahead of its time, and I want all of it, and I want to take it home, and I want to show it off. I have it first. I went to Japan and bought, one of the first high-8 video cameras. It was all in Japanese. All the instructions were Japanese. All the labeling was in Japanese. And I had a friend of mine there translate each button, and then I wrote it in paint marker what it was. When I got home with that high-8 camera, people were just like, what? Because it's the smallest one ever. It's all in Japanese. I was like, that was it. So I had forgotten how many Walkman, Discman cameras that I went through the 80s. By pure coincidence, Mike McGill said, hey man, you gave me this when we were on tour one time, and I want to give it back to you. And he gave me what was the pinnacle of a Walkman at the time. Iowa, auto reverse, recording, 2 headphone jacks, AM FM tuner, Dolby noise reduction. You choose which type of tape you have, metal or chrome. This thing was like, this was state of the art right here. Once I could afford a computer, I bought an Amiga. I wanted the video toaster, but I couldn't afford it. So it was like a whole different card that you fit into the computer. I got super lucky that the company that made the video toaster heard I was an Amiga user and invited me to do a promo for their video toaster, and then gave me a video toaster. For me, that was the biggest perk ever, was getting a video toaster for being semi-famous. This I bought, I think about 5 years ago. This is actually a 3D video camera from Sony. And being an early adopter, I found out there was no editing software for Mac. So the only thing we could do was to shoot video and then watch it on our 3D monitor in the family room with 3D glasses. It's like, no editing. This has not been charged in years. But it was fun for a couple days. I was the definition of early adopter back then. I loved technology, and it felt like it was moving so fast at the time, which is ridiculous now if you think about what is available to us now. But I love that, yeah, this new gadgets, new media was coming out, and I had to be on the forefront of it. So I would get some thing or some device that played a new media, and people were like, we don't even sell those tapes yet. I got one of these early on. This is the Oculus VR. I got it like right when you had to sign up as a developer to get them. I was not a developer, I just pretended to be, and they sent me one. So this is the new one. A lot of people are saying this is the future of video games and whatnot. I think it's fun. It feels kind of novel, but people swear by it. So I get asked all the time, like, when are you gonna do a VR video game? I was like, I don't know, when people aren't motion sick. Okay, so this is actually a gift from my friend Greg, who he and I, he works for HP, it was no accident. And this is a 3D printer. My kids have used this more than I have. It's cool to have it though, and it's like, if you had told me about this in the days when I was buying Walkmans, I would not have believed this existed. This wasn't even like Star Wars tech, you know what I mean? This is next level. This is what my kids are making. Calvin made a Death Star. Keegan made a fractal skull. If I were to link tech to skating, I love the progression of it. Not the fashion, but the functionality. So that was it. Like, that theme is true in my skating too. I didn't care what the tricks looked like, I just wanted to do the tricks. And so that's why I got dissed for style. And so if I had to look at my timeline of electronics, it was all about what tricks can they do, not how they looked. There was no aesthetic. I mean, even there wasn't really an aesthetic to gadgets or computers until Apple really stepped it up. This is where my love of gadgetry comes full circle, and this is actually the original Macintosh at a 1/6 scale, fully functional, that I bought for my wife on her birthday. And the irony of this is that when this computer came out in its original form, I could not afford it, and it's all I wanted in life was to have a Macintosh. And I finally have it. It's in the palm of my hand. My worst purchase was a 100-disc DVD changer. Definitely, that's it. There you go. That's when I hit rock bottom. Because I thought, oh, I'll never have to open that cabinet. Just all the DVDs will be in there and I can choose which one. Do you know how hard it is to scroll through 100 DVDs manually on a terrible remote? It's so dumb. I can't believe it.